Following the fires, crews are still hard at work trying to understand the full extent of the damages. KTIV's Nathan Price has more on their efforts.
Everyone worked as one team. Everything went smoothly for how chaotic the scene was. This is probably one of the biggest fires that ever in Woodbury County.
Following the massive fire that quickly spread through parts of rural Woodbury County, it took more than 50 agencies from 3 states to contain it. Crews met in Bronson to go over next steps.
Anytime we have an incident, the first priority is always going to be to control hazards to life safety, which our crews have been out around the clock doing that. We've conducted evacuations as necessary in order to protect human life. And now what we have crews doing is assessing the damage to structures.
After hours of working to contain the fire that had spread across many acres, and without much rest in between, came the difficult task of crews going around to assess just how much damage had been done, with parts of the blaze still smoldering.
With such a large area affected, covering it all is no easy task.
Right now, from the point of origin of fire that we could tell to the end of the fire just north of Highway 20, it burned about 7.5 miles long by about 1.5 miles wide is how big this fire was.
Thankfully, there were several volunteers on the ground and eyes in the sky.
We've had aircraft in the air taking aerial imagery, GPS coordinates in order to see the full extent of what the damage is. We want to make sure that we are able to provide every asset and avenue possible in order to help people that have been involved.
In Bronson, Iowa, Nathan Price, KTIV News 4.
Woodbury County Emergency Management has a hotline dedicated for any questions or needs for those affected. That number is on your screen right now. That number is 712-222-4400.